as now All for One peels off. Synergy, but very little. They've got a lot to do, these two, to get down below the line. We can see that All for One are further bow down as they bring the stern around. No overlap, or there's an overlap there, no overlap now. As we've only got 1:45, so for sure they'll just come back down below the line, turn, and come on the final approach. So it's All for One coming back first, which would show for me that probably All for One will lead back in. And on the data that we've got, you'd expect All for One to head towards the pin end of the line.
It's a slow motion waltz, this one.
Well, Synergy might be able to cut them off here. Look, Karol Jablonski's brought his bow down, really committing early to the pin end. It's a nice wee move there by Karol Jablonski. So now with Jablonski actually jibing and coming pretty well direct back down to the line, he's going to be able to have that option to the pin end, and it's Synergy on the pin as they now come down. It's all about time and distance, as Peter Eisler rightly called it. You know, it's the speed management or the time on distance as they come up to the line. It's all about momentum.
30 seconds to go.
You're going to have a big split here, and with All for One doing this late tack, it'll be Synergy, as long as they do their time run to that pin end correctly. Synergy are going to be a lot faster off the line. So coming up to the start of this second semi-final, and it's All for One against Synergy, but Synergy here have got an absolute beauty down at this pin end. Look at the bow wash. Synergy are faster off the line, and they have the left-hand side. So it's Synergy as they just ease through past the Louis Vuitton boy.
We're underway in the first of today's semi-final races between All for One and Synergy, and this is Synergy heading out on starboard tack towards the left-hand side of the course. Also on starboard tack, high up to windward. Big, well, there's the leap that they've made already. 64 metres, the advantage line is showing Synergy ahead. All for One have the power of the right, but with a 67-metre gap, that's not that powerful.
So expect Synergy to extend on the exit of this top mark.
Jibe set by the look of it.
They're charging into the top mark. So Synergy won the left-hand side in the start. They've dominated. They won the first cross. Coming into the first mark of the semi-final against All for One. Synergy lead.
Synergy lead around the top mark. Looks like they are organised for a jibe set to get back into that left-hand pressure, which is on the right-hand side of the course looking down. The kite's up, and as you predicted, those two tacks are really costing All for One. They're very slow coming into the mark. They've slowed up. The margin is increasing quite dramatically. 25, 26. It's going to be, I think, under 30 seconds when they go around the corner. It is, in fact, 37 seconds in arrears. Synergy lead All for One by 37 seconds after the first leg of this first semi-final race between Synergy and All for One, best of three in the Louis Vuitton Trophy at La Maddalena, as the kite is up and the jib comes down, the Russian flag flying up the back of the chute. The scoop, rather, looks back at All for One, who've gone off on a bear-away set. This is the separation, this is rigging the changes, this is trying to find something special to bring them back into this race.
I think it's not much in it. I think it's not much in it.
We're coming down to the bottom mark gate, the halfway point in this first semi-final, and it's still now, they've stretched out again, have Synergy. They're coming into a 42-metre bias on the gate as Synergy fly down. They've still got good pressure there, and it's still playing catch-up time for All for One. They closed it down to 60 metres. It's gone out by that again now. And it's still amazing how quickly these figures can go up and down, Pete.
Well, they do, and some of it's to do with the angle and the effect of a jibe in the light wind, because you lose, you know, a solid boat length in a jibe. Looking down the course, both boats setting up for the right-hand gate. That puts them on the left hand looking up the course. And that's for two reasons. One, there's a bit of offset on the mark, and two, that the left-hand side of the course, well, no, he's gone around the left gate, Karol Jablonski. I would expect to see a split here.
Rolling into attack.
Well, that one's interesting.
Rolling into it.
So, Synergy went to the, there's a split at the bottom mark gate. Now, this could open up here for All for One. I'm a bit surprised they took that gate option.
Okay, and on the wind here, guys.
But it's still showing 32 seconds for Synergy. But what has happened is it has given some separation to All for One. It's all
He won't lay.
big lead change, and Synergy are not going to lay the top mark. All for One have come
Left hand, we've got to get jibe set.
with a lead change off the bottom mark.
Come back down the side.
Got to be a
Jibe set.
snowman, eh?
All for One were 200 and more metres behind. They're now 40 metres in front as we come up for the turn for home in this first of the best-of-3 semi-final between All for One and Synergy.
We're happy with.
It's all changed.
We have a big enough lead to stare away early jibe.
A bit of confusion there on the call. It was a jibe set, and certainly the front of the boat is set up for a jibe set. Let's see what we get. Synergy are going to be slow approaching the mark. They've squeezed for the top mark.
Ooh, Synergy leffing. Oh, they're trying to shoot it. They need a bit of the momentum to get around there. Karol Jablonski trying to feather his boat round. They are slow in the water. They are almost stopped.
Bear away, bear away, bear away.
The clock's ticking, and this is becoming a big lead now for All for One.
Well, you can see there the effect as Synergy now comes around the mark, but Karol Jablonski had to squeeze for that mark, and look how slow he is. All for One have done a jibe set, and it's only just now that the sail is full. You burn off a lot of, you start chasing the wind speed, and it feels like an eternity until the boat gets accelerating.
It's not over yet.
Rod Dawson, come on guys, it's not over that. What we've got here now is a complete role reversal of the last time we came round this mark, when All for One took off down the left on a bear-away set, and the leading boat then was Synergy, and they were flying off with a jibe set. So Peter Eisler, you called this one last time as it was coming down. I mean, it's role reversal.
Oh, right now, I can't believe what All for One has done here at the top mark. They had a nice lead. Synergy was dead stop there, looking to get around the mark. And then All for One does sort of a half jibe set. They just got the tack of the spinnaker out to the end of the pole. They've been very, very slow by virtue of that jibe. And meanwhile, Synergy, who's just about had the nails in their coffin, are ripping along on port, split jibes. They got exactly what they want. And here comes All for One back again. A bit of indecision in the back of the boat, I'm afraid, on All for One. Let's see if they can hang on to this lead, but you can't do two jibes in light air without giving away, 80 meters.
I think that's Olivier Douillard up there, and he'll be about to kick the battens through. There he goes. Bang! Great shot as he whacks his feet onto the two red footprints up on that top back. But whoa, this is
well, it's all on. It's all on here, because All for One have had an absolute shocker at the top mark. They made a late call on the manoeuvre. They were well in control on All for One, but they did a delayed jibe set, and it left them in no man's land. Synergy actually had to squeeze for the top mark, but Synergy came round, they got in pressure, and now they've extended.
Finish line square.
We want to be a bit hot here.
So we're just coming down. We've only got about 300 metres to go. There's been 2 lead changes in this race. Off the line, it was Synergy who led. Then on the downwind gate, Synergy gave the lead to All For One. All For One got the bottom mark gate bias. Then at the top mark, All For One did a jibe set, and it didn't work out. They jibe set into a very light spot. That gave the lead back to Synergy, and Synergy have defended on this downwind. This is the last jibe to the finish, as Synergy now jibe. They roll into the jibe, and it looks like Synergy are placed here to go through to win the first race for the semi-final against All For One. So we're coming up to the finish. There's the finish line, the red boy on the right-hand side of Synergy. Synergy coming down to the line. It's very, very light. All For One now have jibed, but the German boat is further back from the finishing line. This is going to work out. The Synergy Russian sailing team are going to take this one. It's a come-from-behind victory. They lead by 72 metres. Martin, a lighter race, but 2 lead changes. Absolutely fantastic. Well called by Synergy and Rod Dawson.
Synergy take out the first race of their semi-final against All For One, and what a nail biter that has been. We've seen this huge swings of lead changes, of emotions, of body language, fantastic racing, and oh, the big grin on board Karl Jablonski. He's loved that. That was quite an exercise, and fingers crossed the breeze holds in so we can get a bit more of this. We don't just want one race, we want a bit more of that, please. And All For One now crossed, having had the lead for so long and having been in such a great position, and then it goes all just again. It's one small mistake becomes one giant calamity, because a little bit of miscommunication at the top mark. We heard John Cutler calling for a tack set, but they were set up for a jibe set. They did the jibe set. It proved to be a crucial error, and that handed the race to Synergy, who had to fight to get it. But now Synergy go 1-up in this semi-final of the Louis Vuitton Trophy in La Maddalena. Who is going to progress through to take Emirates Team New Zealand?
Oh yeah, we made a quite long journey in this race, and you know, it is how easy it is to make mistakes. You see, you know, it's just about you know, making the right calls, but you know, the conditions are very, very tricky here. So for the time you make the decision, all looks fine, and you actually think you made the proper decision, and then it's end up being a wrong one. The same for us at the gate as for Jochen Schumann and John Cutler, they were the marks. So, you know, it's very tricky here, very light, and anything can happen. So we made a nice comeback, and I mean, we did actually well, but you know, important is the win, and we're ready for the next one.